It's your boy, sometimes your girl, and I'm back with another one in this bitch. Alright, since y'all like them so much, you know what it is, man. It's your boy, sometimes your girl, Charlotte Carolina, you know all that good shit. I ain't gotta sit up here and talk all day to y'all. Shit, let me get it right for y'all right there. Bow, okay. Alright, let's get into this. Yatch.
Time when the American way had to come to a crashing halt due to the impending rise of the Second World War. Women were losing the aprons and donning the hats.
Women were still expected to maintain their feminine appeal and remain the classic beauties they were groomed to be. Athleticism and strength, still not qualities that were widely expressed for women, but to be healthy and poised. Just like any general rule made, there are always exceptions.
Abby Stockton, better known in the professional world as Pudgy, was the exception to this golden rule. She was a beautiful blonde bombshell who also happened to be a female bodybuilder, coming into stardom in the 1940s, not only in the infamous Muscle Beach, but across the nation.
On August 11th, 1917, in Santa Monica, California, Abby Avil, who would later become known across the nation as Pudgy Stockton, was born.
By the time Pudgy had made it to high school, she had been participating in gymnastics, living up to the poised stereotype of women of her generation. While attending high school, she met the love of her life and arguably her largest supporter throughout her life, Les Stockton, which would also provide her with the second half of her infamous name. Les was an athlete himself, standing at a strapping 5 feet 10 inches and weighing in at 185 pounds. He participated in weightlifting, gymnastics, and wrestling. The two would later become an incredible and nearly inseparable duo.
After high school in 1941, Pudgy and Les were married, and Pudgy did one of the few jobs that was considered acceptable for women to do in those days. She answered phones as an operator. She became increasingly unhappy with how the job neglected her physical fitness and how it was changing her appearance. To compensate for a lack of physical engagement in the workplace, Pudgy began lifting weights that Les had lying around the house.
In 2002, Pudgy had stated in an interview with Sports Illustrated that at this time, in the 1940s, women were discouraged from weightlifting as it would decrease their femininity and lose their beauty. Les was one of the few men at the time that regularly advocated against this notion and continued to encourage his wife to do what she loved, which is arguably why the pair made such a strong team.
Shortly after their marriage, Pudgy and Les, along with their friend Bruce Conner, formed a hand balancing act in which they traveled around the Los Angeles area presenting their strength. She put her talents and her knowledge of fitness world to continue her strength training and wrote a column called Barbells, which she contributed every month from 1944 to 1954 in the Strength and Fitness magazine, which was retired from circulation in 1986.
Once Les had returned from serving his country, Pudgy and Les opened up their own company, Salon of Figure Development, which became a main contributor to the crowd and powerhouses of Muscle Beach. Along with their facility, Pudgy and Les continued their balancing performances along with Bruce, where Pudgy, standing around 5 feet 1 inch tall and weighing in only at 115 pounds, would routinely lift Les above her head in a handstand position to attract the attention of the crowds, always with a big smile on her face.
Pudgy had stunning good looks, which propelled her ability to make it on the scene in a world dominated by men. Many other women were lifting at the time, and definitely as strong as Pudgy, but due to the controversy of keeping the feminine ideals alive, Pudgy became the face of women's fitness, gracing over 40 covers of magazines in the 1940s alone.
In 1947, Les and Pudgy brought forth the first women's amateur weightlifting competition, along with having a women's-only health facility. This later led to Pudgy entering and winning the first ever Miss Physical Culture Venus, leading to her nickname of Queen of Muscle Beach, as well as the Queen of the Barbells.
In 1988, she received the Steve Reeves International Society Pioneer Award. Then in 1991, she was honored by the Association of Old-Time Barbell and Strongmen. She was then inducted into the Joe Weider Hall of Fame in the year 2000.
The Queen of the Barbells is commemorated every time a woman lifts a set of weights or is able to perform in a fitness competition. Pudgy was an inspiration. She helped make these modern sports possible.
Upon my discovery of Abby, I realized that there are many parallels in our fitness lives. Just like her, I started off as a gymnast, and after retirement, I wasn't too thrilled about the way my body was looking. So my brother had some weights in the house, and I
Welcome, everyone.
Do you think I have that? The most interesting article that I've read from the first few Body Golden Era bookworm here. Today I'd like to look at one of the most historic covers on Your Physique magazine. Historic because you have here Val Nord, a female, in full colour being presented on the front cover of a bodybuilding magazine. This has got to be the first full colour magazine feature
on a Waiter magazine featuring a female. And it is very obvious that even by the late 1940s, this is October 1949, bodybuilding in general and health and fitness was starting to be promoted for women. So this is a very historic cover in itself. Now let's look at this awesome magazine with some very interesting articles. The first is an awesome feature. So here we have already articles on the fantastic Val Nord. Again, promoting fitness and advice. The most interesting article that I read from the first few was this, well actually it's not an article, but it's a great montage of Bob Del Montique, I think his name is. Again, featuring aesthetic beauty in the male physique. Now, the more interesting article that I was getting to was that of Armin Tanny. Armin Tanny was a late 40s and early 50s bodybuilder from the Silver era.
You can't fake the goodness of real strawberries, the crunch of real almonds.
Now it's time to recognize another wonderful tradition we have here at the Arnold Classic. It's time to honor our Arnold Classic Lifetime Achievement Award winner. Please turn your attention towards the video screens to watch this very special presentation.
This year's Lifetime Achievement winner is the First Lady of Fitness, Betty Weeder, pioneer for women's health, fitness, and nutrition, publisher, writer, and cover girl. Born in Pasadena, California, young Betty Brosmer got her first weight kit at 12 years old. As she grew up, Betty, the skinny kid, blossomed on a trip to New York. Her incredible beauty quickly brought her attention and got her into modeling. Her captivating smile and stunning looks on a national full-page ad for Emerson TV that was featured in a giant ad in Times Square rapidly propelled her to international cover girl status. During Betty's career, she was famous for her perfect hourglass figure. She has graced over 300 covers and has appeared on billboards across the country. She was Miss Television and also one of the original models for the Barbie doll. A sought-after model in the new fitness publications, she modeled for fitness magazine publisher Joe Reeder for 2 years before they met. Betty and Joe were married in the Little Chapel of the West in Las Vegas for $25 by a judge who was also Joe's best man. The cost of the ceremony included 2 photos of the happy couple. That $25 wedding lasted 53 years until Joe's passing in 2013. The first major fashion model to use weight training, her ideas for women's fitness were ahead of her time. It was unheard of in the 1950s to train with any weights or resistance, as most women were afraid it would make them muscle-bound. She was convinced that light resistance training is what made her figure more shapely. Betty had dreamed for years of a health and fitness publication geared solely to women. Frustrated by the seemingly magical and outlandish weight loss schemes, she wanted to help women create an integrated lifestyle of health, fitness, and nutrition based on honest and reliable information. Joe helped make Betty's dream come true when they published Shape magazine in 1981 with an exciting format featuring a contemporary lifestyle of nutrition, fitness, and exercise. The trailblazing publication is the best-selling magazine on women's health, fitness, and nutrition throughout the world. With her new platform as a voice of women's health and fitness, she wrote and conceived many of the ideas that are the foundation of the Reader health and fitness lifestyle. Through the years, Betty has been an inspiration for many celebrities and others, internationally acclaimed through her books and articles in the world's most popular fitness of their bodies forever. Her 2 magazine columns, Body by Betty and Health by Betty, appeared in the leading health and fitness magazines around the world in over 35 languages with a readership of several million monthly. Her commitment to improving the lives of others extended beyond the work. An enduring commitment to philanthropic ventures. He gave many gems to boys and girls youth clubs and after-school programs, as well as to various fire departments and police stations throughout the world, including the donation of a gem to the Los Angeles Police Department's famed Parker Center. In 2011, Betty and Joe established the Joe and Betty Weider Museum of Physical Culture at the University of Texas, which houses the largest collection of historical fitness memorabilia and documents in the world. At the famed Cleveland Clinic, Betty worked with Dr. Toby Cosgrove and his team and donated the Betty and Joe Weider Gymnasium at the Cardiac Rehabilitation Center, which has been a great assistance to the recovery of patients. Recently, along with her lifetime friend Arnold Schwarzenegger, donated 40 acres of land in Malibu, California to complete the 67-mile Backbone Trail to the National Park Service on its 100th birthday. In 2012, Betty received the Life Achievement Award from Muscle Beach and was inducted in the Muscle Beach Hall of Fame. And in 2014, was inducted into the International Sports Hall of Fame. Betty Weider's commitment to a healthy and fit lifestyle has never wavered. By her example and by her teaching, she has served to educate and inspire generations of women around the world to improve their lives. As a publisher and writer, she has reshaped the landscape of women's fitness and nutrition worldwide. As a model and cover girl, she was groundbreaking. A philanthropist who has eagerly shared the rewards of her hard work and good fortune with so many. We congratulate the First Lady of Fitness, Betty Weider.